Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is day 3 of our October 2023 release, and I have a card to share. Hey, so I'm using Jaded Blossom's brand new Build-A-Booth Christmas Add Ons, along with their Reindeer Feed stamp set that's new, Build-A-Booth die, their Gnome dies Christmas Add Ons 2, birthday banner dies, Gnome dies Sign Add Ons, Gnome dies Leg Add Ons, and the Elfin Holiday Tag stamp set. And I am using... I did put this together on the Build-A-Booth Christmas Add-ons assembly video, so check that out. I'm also using the Candy Cane Lane 12-inch pad along with the Rainbow Petite Prints 6-inch pad and Candy Stripe and Sprinkles and American Crafts Christmas foil. So I went ahead and I cut out these little elf legs in the Candy Stripe and Sprinkles 6-inch pad from Doodlebug in the green. And I'm using Close to My Heart's White Daisy ink to ink around the edges. And I find that you can, if you go a little crazy with that ink, you can use an eraser to erase it, right? So don't get too crazy until it's set like permanently, but you could use an eraser to fix up. That's what I do on the leg. So I'm just going to ink around the little shoes as well. The yellow is also from that Candy Stripe and Sprinkles 6-inch pad from Doodlebug. So I'm just inking around using a little finger dauber. Now you see that my little booth was built from Geeman Tyndall wood grain cardstock, and I did use that same white ink, white brads, and everything will be listed on my blog. Okay, so now I'm going to put together these little legs. I'm adding on little shoes, so I don't bother with the, feet, the little skin tone feet, because, it doesn't show anyways. I'll add the little cuffs on the little boots using my reverse tweezers and my Barely Art glue. Working on my Stampin' Up! Pad. All my die cutting was done with my not my Gemini this time. I'm using my Anna Griffin M-Press on this one. And I do weight down what I glue in between just to make sure everything glues nice and flat. So now I'm going to add the little bells on. That's what these little circles are, cut out of gold cardstock from American Crafts Christmas foil pad. So it just has a bunch of foil in there, and this is the gold one. But you could use any gold, right? I use my little Studio Catty embellishment wand to pick up the little tiny, circles because they're so small. So I'm just, adding the ones that are on the elf, and then the ones that hang off the elf, I will do once they're attached to the card front. And I do weight that down. So now I've got a bunch of little presents that I cut from using Jaded Blossom's birthday banner dies. And I cut those out of Paper Tring black cardstock, pure poppy cardstock, and then yellow and green from that Candy Stripe and Sprinkles from Doodlebug, using the Sprinkles one, obviously. There we go, and I'm just going to quickly put these little presents together just as an embellishment, and I figured that that would look really cute on the front of this card. There we go. So just like I said, very quickly doing this. This release is so super cute. You're going to want to get this. I don't know, if you are gnome driven like me, you're going to want to get all these little accessories this time. So super cute. But then I say that all the time, right? I'm a heavy proponent for you don't need everything. And that's totally true. I do a release and review video for all the releases. So you're going to want to check that out. And then you can decide if you really want this release. So there we go. And I'm just going to add on these little bows. Now, for me, I need it if I know I'm going to use it. I try not to buy things just to collect them. I try to buy things because I'm going to use them. So now I have a piece of Paper Tring cardstock cut at 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches with my Martha Stewart scoreboard and my Teflon bone folder. I like the Teflon bone folder because it doesn't make your card shiny. Now this paper is from that Candy Cane Lane 12-inch paper line from Doodlebug, and I'm just going to glue it down to the front of my card. This is cut at 1/8 of an inch smaller than an A2 size card front, and it's just a little snow background, right? So I'll just line that up. And I do weight it down just because I like to make sure things dry nice and flat. Now I'm taking my little sign, and I cut that out of that same Candy Stripe and Sprinkles Doodlebug pad, the yellow, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment, "You've been elfed," in VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, using my Misty because that's the safest way for me to stamp. There we go. And I do stamp it a couple of times to make sure I get a nice, clear, sharp sentiment. And there we go. You want to be careful because you can smear that. So now I'm going to add this cute little booth to the front of my card. Well, actually, I'm going to tuck my little gnome in there first, but I'm just going to add some of this ATG tape to my little booth. There we go. I don't have the brand of those brads. I just had them in my stash. I've had them forever. So I'm going to add this little gnome like he's diving. Well, it's not gnome, he's an elf. This little elf like he's diving behind the booth. There we go, with his little cute little elf shoes sticking out. Isn't that cute? It's just adorable, right? Ugh, so cute. And I'm just using an adhesive eraser just to, you know, anywhere I overlapped with that ATG tape, I'll use this little adhesive eraser. It's awesome for that. Now I'm going to tuck this little hat like it's kind of resting on this booth, but I need to add this little bunting first. And these are alternating Santa hats and elf hats, cut out of pure poppy cardstock, paper tray ink, white cardstock, and also the yellow and green cardstock from that same Candy Stripe and Sprinkles from Doodlebug, along with the same gold little gold foil cardstock from American Crafts for the little bells on the little elf hats. So my little sign was cut from that same pure poppy and paper tray ink white cardstock, and I'm just going to pop that up with some 3M foam tape. Easy to tear and cut. I kind of like it. There we go. And then I will have that kind of, you know, on the upper part of my booth, kind of tilted, just because that's how I like to do it. There we go. Isn't that cute? So now I'm going to glue down this little hat. And like I said, I'm going to have it sort of leaning on the booth, kind of like it was thrown there. There we go. And I'm just going to stick down those last of the little gold bells now that I've got the hat in place. And I'm using that little Studio Katia embellishment wand to pick them up again. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing to the little ankles. So I've got 4 more of these little gold dots to stick down. I just find this is the easiest way to do it. There we go. Make sure it's stuck down well. There we go. And I do add a little bit more glue on the corner of that hat, and I will clamp it down with my reverse tweezers. Now I'm going to assemble the little sign. So that's cut from paper tray ink black cardstock first, and then I will add my little yellow stamped sentiment, and then I will add the string that's cut out of paper tray ink white cardstock, and I will pop this up a little bit. So, oops, and of course I peel it off. Got to get it back in place. It's small, so I like to use my reverse tweezers. I will weight that down. So now I'm going to pop up these little presents. I'm going to add one to the upper right-hand side of my booth. And then I'm going to add 2 to the lower left. So I'll glue the first one down flat. There we go. And then I will pop up this little one with some scrapbook adhesives foam squares. And, you know, just for a little bit of fun, because, you know, where elves are, they're making presents, right? There we go. So super cute. Now this little sign is going to be popped right about there. So I'm going to add some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, just because that's what I used to pop up the hats originally, the bunting hats. And I'm just going to, oh, and I gotta move that one. Gotta move that piece a little bit down, and there we go. So I'm going to have the little sign, and I'm going to tack down the, you know, the string in the center, and I will use my reverse tweezers to clamp it down so it has a chance to dry. Now on the inside, I've got a piece of Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock cut at 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment from the Elfin Holiday Tag. I'm going to stamp that little tag sentiment out. There we go. So I'm just stamping that out. Super cute stuff as per usual, right? So I'll stamp that in VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. So the sentiment says, hope your Christmas is filled with candy canes, candy syrup, or candy corn and candy syrup. And of course, I think I messed that up. No, it's hope your Christmas is filled with candy canes, candy corn, and syrup. There we go. So I'm just using my Fiskars trimmer to trim close around this little tag. There we go. Remember, it can smear, so you got to be careful. And I'm going to use some Pure Poppy cardstock. I'm going to stick this one down in the corner, and then I will trim again. So this has a little red border to go on the inside. Just for fun. There we go. So I'm going to first add a little black brad. I don't know the brand, but I'm going to add the little black brad first. There we go. And I don't mind that that's going through the card. I can leave that. It's going to look like it's a little nail holding my sign. Now I will trim out my little sentiment for the inside. It's kind of handy, this Fiskars trimmer with a little wire guide. I find if I'm doing something like this, I like to use this trimmer. There we go. And that's going to go on the inside of my card. And I'm going to use the sticker sheet from the Candy Cane Lane 12-inch paper line. And I'm going to use, this little sticker. I think it's kind of fun. And I'll sort of run it twice across the bottom, just for fun. And I will trim off the overhang with a pair of scissors there. I'm going to add one more little line of it because I thought, why not, right? I like to decorate the inside of my cards a little bit. So I'm going to trim that piece off as well. I'll put that back on the sticker sheet. And then I'm going to add my little sentiment with some ATG tape. You can see how that ink, kind of transferred. So you got to be careful about that. And I'm going to add a little present to the inside as well, because why not? There we go. And that will be the decoration for the inside. I do weight it down. So in the meantime, I've decided I'm going to pull out Copic markers in G07, Y15, and R27. You got to be careful that you do not touch that marker because it's not Copic friendly. So just be careful. And I don't do any ink blending or anything. I'm just filling this in. Because this doesn't have to be perfect. It's just on the inside of a card, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just sort of coloring without touching those lines. And I'm just coloring like flat coloring. So I'm just going to add green, red, and yellow. And then I just thought it would make it look a little bit more interesting on the inside. That's all. But this was a super simple card to put together. Once you put together your booth, Bob's your uncle, you've got a quick card, right? Okay, so now I'm using the Y15. And I'll add that. There we go. And then I'm going to pull out the red, and I'm going to add red stripes to his shirt. And we'll add the stripes to his candy cane as well. And there we go. Just carefully touching it, so I'm not touching that, that ink. VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink is not Copic friendly. And now I'm pulling out, I don't even know what the brand of this marker is, but or a pen. It's a Uniball little roller. I'm using my white Jelly Roll pen to just make some corrections and add a little highlight. But I also used a gold pen to color in the little gold jingle bell on that hat. So now I'm going to add a few little highlights to the outside as well, just for fun. There we go. And then I'll be pretty much done this card. I think it turned out super cute. I didn't end up using that string of lights. We'll have to use that on something else. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog. Be inspired. The Jaded Blossom store to get your hands on, the Gotta Have It Now. And that is all. So thank you for watching, and we will see you soon in my next video. Bye, everybody.